I'm meteorologist Gary Lezak with Weather 2020. What a weather pattern. And you'll see the title that says it all from this horrible, deadly boating accident on Lake Tahoe, one of my favorite places in the world. A storm suddenly hit there, should not have been out of the water. It's one of those LRC storms that could have at least been on somebody's calendar. To the Idaho snow, to the North Dakota tornado and derecho event, everything is right on schedule. That's right, we have the crystal ball and we predicted the potential for these events to happen. So let's take a look and show you in today's report, a lot to go over today. Let me show you the title here. June storms follow the cycle. LRC accuracy on full display. And I'll show you that here in just a second, this June 24th report. What in the heck? On June 21st, not unheard of in Lake Tahoe, but this storm produced snow, and when it came across the lake, it had a 25-degree drop in temperatures, and the swells on that big lake, remember Lake Tahoe is 26 miles by about 11 miles. It's a huge lake, and the waves can get huge. People should not have been on the water, and unfortunately, 8 people were killed when a boat capsized. How about North Dakota a couple days earlier, a day earlier? Look at this. This is just incredible. A major tornado, as you can see, likely in EF3, EF4 tornado in North Dakota, and in Idaho, snow. In fact, that June 22nd storm that came across there, did you know that is in cycle 7, June 22nd, snow in Idaho? All right? You can't make this up. All right? Cycle 1, the first snow, our first dusting in Idaho. All right? Our first dusting on October 17th. 42 days later, snow event issued for Idaho Falls, creating parking restrictions. 40 days later, 5 inches of snow in 75 minutes at Idaho Ski Resort. 5 inches in just over an hour. Wow, that had to have been incredible on April the 1st. 42 days later, 208 days now out since that October dusting, which is a 41.6 day cycle. Snow in Idaho, Montana, western Wyoming, Colorado. Look at that. That's May 13th and 14th. And then now, 246 days after their first snow, there is snow again on June 22nd. A 41-day cycle exactly. Here's some hail from that North Dakota, a bowl of hail. Laura Hoffman sent this in. Look at all those golf balls. And incredible. Now let's look at the radar images from June 16th. I showed it to you last week. The storm spun across and produced some severe weather. Thunderstorms raged into Fargo. Then, just 5 days later, on June 20th, 4 days later, here's all the tornado warnings, the supercells ahead of this line. And look at that. It looks very similar to this one, just 4 days earlier. So the same LRC producing a similar storm right on schedule. And I don't even need to open your mind to this. Some of you have been paying attention for decades, and we appreciate it. This is our forecast that is still out now for July 28th to August 5th, predicting the potential for tornadoes at a derecho. Someone even called into WDAY radio and asked, Gary, is this still in play for July 28th to August 5th? This was before it actually happened a few days ago. And I said, yes, it is, and we have to watch because that part of the pattern cycles through next week, which was last week. Boom. You can't make that up. That's our forecast still for July 28th. Now, the version I had for June, I had it down here. All right? So my vision was right. I should have had it farther north anyway. Here's the Kansas City blizzard segment of the LRC that just completed with all these tornadoes, 80 tornadoes from June 15th to 20th. 40 days earlier, 41 days earlier, May 8th to 13th. 41 days before that, a major outbreak with nearly 100 tornadoes. March 20th to April 3rd. Before that, on cycle. And then these two setups, believe it or not, in October 17th, 18th, 19th, remember Idaho had their first dusting of snow? Remember that? There was also a tornado in Arizona. Okay? And severe weather the next couple of days as it moved out into the plains, directly related to November. Why didn't anything happen in November? Look at this. Nothing happened in November. Why not? Well, if I would show you the setup, I could show it to you. There was a dry line, a surface low, a whole setup for severe weather. It just had no moisture. Then it materializes on the blizzard. The Kansas City blizzard produced severe weather with 17 tornadoes in Arkansas. And then cycle 4, 5, 6, and now 7. And the same thing happened the week earlier. All 7 cycles in the severe weather outbreak signature. I called that because there was a severe weather outbreak December 28th and the deadly one March 15th, 16th, 14th, 15th. So they're directly related to what just happened the week earlier. Everyone, open your mind to this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I can show you the LRC index too. Maybe I'll do that next week, but it's pretty complex. All right, here we go. Watch closely. June 22nd, a heat wave, the anticyclone heat wave creating machine is now pulling in moisture. It just helped produce 5 to 7 inches of rain in northern Missouri. So there it is, the anticyclone. There's the upper low that produced the Tahoe disaster, the snow in Idaho, and this ridge off the west coast. Let's go all the way back to October. Remember, you're looking at the flow at 18,000 feet up. Okay, 18,000 feet above us, so it's not affected by friction at the surface. Here is cycle 1. Cycle 1, cycle 7. And I lined up all 7 cycles, but I didn't want to go through each one. Just know it shows up in all 7 cycles. Here's the Idaho storm. There it is in October. It went a little farther south, believe it or not. Here's the big ridge that's causing the heat wave right now in the east. All right? There it is now. As you can see, the pattern is cycling. This is a great way to look at it. What just happened to the drought? Remember, we were in a D1, 2, 3 drought over parts of Nebraska that was shrinking. Well, watch, that was May 20th. Less than a month later, poof, it's gone. For northern Missouri, all right, northern Missouri, May 20th, June 17th, there's still a drought right here. And believe it or not, this 4 to 7 inches of rain right here, it's gone. This is all wiped out. But not here. Near Lynn, Kansas, there's a little dot that again somehow got missed where there's 5 inches of rain so close by. Anyway, very interesting to watch the drought monitor. As I said, droughts are either shrinking or growing, and it's now going into July, so the corn and soybeans are going to be doing pretty good. I think you would agree. Let me know how they're going. Some struggle areas as usual. The LRC model from the Weather 2020 Vision dashboard. And yes, this is available for you. This is, if you're a customer, this is what you see now when you come to the front page. If you haven't gone in a while, go load it up. Pick your state and county if you want to. I picked Iowa. And you can see this is a week-by-week forecast for rainfall, total rainfall, and that's 17.7 inches of rain right there in the northeast corner of Iowa forecast, but that's only 100% of average, right on average. So most of the state near average to a little bit below average still in the forecast for Iowa, and then all the weeks above this line are wet weeks. The weeks below the line, late July, early August, dry weeks. And so you can see there's no very long dry stretches. And this goes all the way through to December. Yes, the new weather pattern sets up right here. So this is probably suspect. But I just wanted to show you our model goes out to a year ahead. And you can have it in your hands if you'd like it. All right, now here is Illinois and Indiana. Same thing. Wet week coming up here soon. Then near normal. A dry week in August. And then wet at the end of August and early September. And then you can have harvest. And then it gets wet in late September and early October. And then the new LRC sets up, so we'll see. And this shows you that it's almost double average, 1.5 times average in southern Indiana and southern Illinois. So very wet there with 33 inches of rain forecast between now and the end of the year. This goes all the way to the end of the year. So again, this is available, Weather 2020. Let Bryce Palmer know if you'd like to have this in your tool chest. I think everyone should have it. You can go day by day, week by week, month by month. All right, what happened today? The first tropical system of the season. Look at this. Andrea formed, and Andrea likely is no longer. But our first named storm of the season just formed over the open waters of the Atlantic, and it should die. Weather 2020, the most accurate hurricane predictor in the world, based on Barcelona Supercomputing Center data, we are predicting 17 to 23 named storms this season. You can see we're above most. In fact, our low end is above just about everybody. 20 named storms, so we're 17 to 23, 12 hurricanes, 7 is average, so I'm expecting a lot of hurricanes this year, 5 major hurricanes, and 188, significantly above the average 123. And then here is one of our big forecasts for August 22nd. Now, it could show up July 10th to 15th also. So it doesn't mean August 22nd for sure. We will look at next month. Right here, I wrote it in here. We will monitor the first half of July. So just know that this is what we're the most accurate in. We're the only ones in the world that have even attempted to predict hurricanes. And last year we were 5 for 5 in predicting the ones that hit the United States. And then here's another one we have to watch. It could sneak into the Gulf of Mexico too. Around September the 13th is when this one is due. So more on that coming up soon. All right, that was a lot to go over today, and I hope if you have any questions, let's have a discussion. Let me know. I'm a little under the weather, so have a great day. There's the call. I tried to hold off. I'm meteorologist Gary Lezak with Weather 2020, and let me know if you have any questions. I got through it.